We begin, however, today with this. If you have not heard, today is Keith Carson's last day with us here at CENTER Maine. One of the things Keith has long wanted, but we were never able to put together, a roast. Today that kind of changes with a little of your help, and hosts of friends and former colleagues have sent us videos giving you a proper farewell, you could see. We'll be hearing those throughout the evening. We start, however, with our producer of this newscast, Krista Rollins.
Keith, when I first heard you were fired, leaving. Just doesn't feel right saying it. All right. Keith, when I first heard you were fired, Keith, when I first heard that you were leaving, I was a little bit surprised. I mean, this seems like a pretty good gig. You barely do any work. And I know that you push back on that a lot when we say it, but we're only saying it based on years of daily observations. I will miss how, whenever I wrote a story about Drake, it became a joke about you without me having to actually write any jokes into it. There's just some miracle of transmutation there. Keith, we're about the same age. You're aging very well. Notice I didn't say aging naturally. But one of the things, when I look at you, that makes me feel younger is the way that you harangue our Gen Z employees and desperately cling to their slang terms. Let it go, buddy. Miss me with that. Keith, one of the infuriating things about making fun of you is that ultimately you are actually pretty good at your job, and I think that we'll all miss on you being a reliable, fairly accurate forecaster who typically fills his time if he remembers that he's got a hit coming up. Oh, and Keith, a lot of people give you grief about the hair. I always thought it looked on point because I assume that's how it attaches to your scalp, like you're a little mini Lego figurine.
Krista Rollins, the producer of this 4 p.m. newscast right there.
I like it. I was actually, so throughout the night these were coming in. Some people sent them to me, but I did not watch them because I
sent them right along.
But I gave Krista the task of it because he does some stand-up, and I trusted him to tell me if something was over the line and cut it from the show. Okay. So hopefully he does me solid on that. We'll find out.
We got a little flavor of Krista's personality, of where his humor comes from. So he'll be good.
I like it. We were just basing that on the observations of watching you every day not do work.
His words, not ours. Just
fair enough. I look forward to the rest. In the meantime, we will do some weather. We'll do that as well.
Slugger, what are we doing here? No. It's a roast of Keith Carson, not for Keith. And you really shouldn't be microwaving a roast. Still a microwave. I'm just gonna leave you to it.
Slugger there with a little roast for.
I love that. You know what's funny about that roast? The first time, Dana's not over there, but I wish she were.
She's in the corner.
When we first started talking about this, we were talking to Sam Olson, and she had the same reaction. She thought we were making a roast. She was like, "Where are we going to make the roast? In the parking lot?" And I was like, "What are we talking about right now?"
It's a generational thing. We've hit the mark.
Well, not good weather out there to make a roast.
No, not good for the parking lot roast that she thought was happening today. Hey everyone, I'm here to announce that Friday will be my last day at CENTER Maine. I'll get to what I'm doing next in just a bit. But first, I want to take a moment to look back at my career and thank people who've helped me along the way. I have to start at age 10 and thank my parents for realizing that from the blizzard of 1993 on, this weather bug that got a hold of me just wasn't going to let go. My father called TV stations to talk them into letting me come in on tours and even volunteered to cook dinner for the staff at the Mount Washington Observatory so I could spend a few nights up there with the weather team. One of the most important things I took from him was do something you love for a job. And truly, I loved being a weatherman. My first TV job was at the NBC station in Plattsburgh, New York. And to be honest, I wasn't very good. Luckily, I had an amazing mentor up there, Chief Meteorologist Tom Messner, who gave me guidance and reassured me, it's just TV. That mentality gave me the space to start being myself. After Plattsburgh, I applied to WCSH. Behind the scenes, Amanda Hill vouched for me when my name was brought up as a finalist. a decision I'm sure she later regretted immensely. To tell the story of my success in Maine, I really need to thank everyone who built CSH into the powerhouse station it was when I arrived. Cindy Williams, Pat Callahan, Sharon Rose, Lee Goldberg, Lee Nelson, Bill Green, Don Kerrigan, Rob Caldwell, Joe Cupo, and many more behind the scenes. Cupo took me under his wing and taught me the idiosyncrasies of Maine weather, and he reminded me, Keith, man cannot predict the weather. Over the years, I'd have days sitting in the weather office after a missed forecast thinking, man, Joe was right. I want to thank my wife Paula for always having my back. She picked up her life and moved with me to Plattsburgh, then Portland, then Atlanta, and finally back to Maine again. When I was on the road for the Weather Channel, lonely in some hotel room in Oklahoma, she was my rock. She had the same confidence in me when I was doing weekends in a small TV market as she did when I did my first national news shot. Importantly, I want to thank the people of Maine. Without your support, I never would have found success in this field. At first, some of you chafed at my small suits, the off-topic tangents, and my weird movements across the green screen. And hey, some of you probably still do. But most of you realized over time that what really drives me to do this job is my love for the weather. Once you saw that, you adopted me. I truly don't think my personality could have worked in just any place, just any state. Mainers are open-minded. That's one of the things I love most about them. You got me, and that's something I'll always remember. I want you to know this was my decision. So if you love me, don't complain to News Center Maine, and if you hate me, don't congratulate them for finally ditching me. I've really loved my time here, and I've had a great run in TV. But it was time to try something different. I've been doing this almost 20 years. So where am I going? I've accepted a job with Maine conservation voters, helping them with their science and climate communications. I've had the privilege to talk to Mainers all over this big state about the climate and conservation, and this is a great opportunity to build a broader coalition of people who care about those topics, even if, and this is important, they care about them for vastly different reasons. The good news is I'll be able to stay in the state me and my family love so much. So you won't see me on TV anymore, but I hope I'll always be your adopted weather weenie.
Here we continue his
And he
roast.
joins it for us, thankfully. So this half hour, a name a lot of you will recognize, Jim Cantori and a few friends from the Weather Channel.
So Keith Carson is getting out of broadcasting. And all along, I thought it's because he wasn't even good enough to be in it. But no, Keith is a great talent. Hey, we got a few friends of yours here, Keith, that want to say congratulations. The first guy you don't even know.
I didn't get to work with you, but congrats, man. That's
Jordan
cool.
Steele,
I
ladies
want
and
to be
gentlemen.
retired from TV.
You remember this beautiful gal.
Oh, congratulations. My question is, do they allow you to wear smediums to the new job?
perfect.
He taught me the word smedium.
Yeah.
I never even knew that word before until I met Keith Carson. Congratulations on a huge career in broadcast and on your next chapter, seriously.
Yeah, you did pull that one off good. And of course, last but never least, Justin.
Keith Carson, where are you going, man? We're all better because of you. You've got to stick around. But you're in Maine, and I appreciate that. And I'm jealous even. Even Cantori's jealous. Good for you, man. Good luck to you.
Listen, I'll pay you guys later for those nice comments. No, seriously, Keith, good luck, man. Rock it, roll it. You know I want to keep you on the air, but you know what? I know you're going to do a great job in whatever you do. Take care, buddy.
Oh, it was like almost too nice. It was almost too nice. You know what's funny about Jim is he mentioned at the end, you know, when I started to think about leaving this field, his take was so flattering. He's like, yeah, but you're good at it. And I was like, I really appreciate that. But they can be different things. So that's so funny. Right. The small suit will probably make it into every roast tonight.
I would imagine it's in a lot of them.
More or less.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be an appearance at weddings. You
Yes.
know,
Right.
you're not going to be wearing a suit every day.
Yeah, they'll last you a long time.
They ain't going to be baggy. I know it's coming back in. But I'm not willing to do it.
And I just want to say we're on the set together. You meant a lot to me. We worked together now for more than 8 years, even though I was gone for a little bit. And the last year plus here with you has been a blast. So I know we'll be in touch.
You
So.
couldn't get rid of me those 3 years in Hartford, so it won't happen now.
That
so I
is true.
appreciate it.
We still texted weekly, and now it'll be, what's the Euro showing?
Yeah, exactly. Take it away. We appreciate this roast. We got a few more coming up.
I was going to say, who's going to do weather? You're both
He's
here.
doing it.
Okay.
This is his thing
Give
now.
him a break.
Keith, I remember when you came to Channel 6 from Plattsburgh, New York. Seems like just yesterday. Anyway, we worked together for a few years, had some happy times. Then you left, went away to the Weather Channel. And from there, you were doing weather from all over the country. I used to see you popping up in all different places. And then from there, you came back to Channel 6. And now, you're moving to a new environment. Talk about climate change.
Thank you, Joe. Also, I want to tell you that working in the weather office.
You know, Keith, we always had a great time hanging out in the weather office between newscasts, and we'd talk about politics and sports and how you made all your money, which was always interesting. Then things started to get a little strange. I mean, you were a little obsessed, right? You'd ask, how come your hair looks like that? Who does that for you? How come people like you better than they like me? And I felt a little uncomfortable, so when it was time to retire, I thought, this will be good. Keith can have some time to himself. But if I'd known you were going to bail this fast, I might have hung around. I don't know. But the good thing is, I still get to hang out in the weather office. Right, Raj?
Weather office? Did you say weather office? Oh, yeah. You've been hanging out here way too much, Pat. Get on out of here.
Good luck, Keith.
Keith, it's Donnie. Gonna give it to you straight on the weather for once. Keith, heard you're finally moving on from News Center Maine. Suppose folks started to figure out that you've just been studying medias the whole time and making fake weather predictions and that it weren't really that accurate. And then I got on the green screen and they were like, this Donnie guy, he actually knows what he's talking about. So maybe we need to figure, get somebody else going on there. I'm not sure if that influenced your decision or not, but might not be the worst thing for you because now you can start working on your ski technique, you know what I mean? Use your days trying to point them downhill instead of making all them turns like I seen you been doing. So time to start working on your technique. Here's the
Yeah, funny story. The first time I did a shot with Donnie, he skis the way he does, and
very well.
Supposed to, right? You have to be good to be that bad. Yeah. And I was supposed to be following him. It was the last day of the season at Sunday River.
Oh, good luck.
And we were going down Agony. If anybody's familiar with that trail, it's hard on a good day. It's rocks, moguls. It's end of the season. He goes, "Okay, I'll do my thing. You just come behind me."
Follow me.
I was like, "I don't think you know." What kind of skier I am.
Keith Carson, how are you doing, my friend? I know you are getting ready to leave the television business. Not a moment too soon, because let's face it, who knows if we'll even have TV in a week. But the good news is there is one thing I am always certain of. There will always be Keith Carson, as long as they're very thin suits. You, my friend, were ahead of the curve, always wearing the thin pants, the tight-fitting suit. Was I jealous? Absolutely. But I also know nobody can wear a thin suit like Keith Carson. You keep, as they say, the most interesting man in the world always says, stay thirsty, my friend. Keith Carson, stay wearing those thin suits, my friend.
So Al and I worked together for, a year on Wake Up with Al, and just pretty much every day.
You were together a lot.
Was all over my suits every time, and it took a lot of willpower not to back down in the face of such adversity.
That's right. You managed okay, which was very good.